Welcome in Saturday night at the old ballpark at 20th and Blake. Coors Field the spot this evening as the Rockies get ready to entertain the Cincinnati Reds. Looking for a little more offense than they found last night as the Reds prevailed in game one of this three-game set by the score of 3-0. And welcome upstairs along with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Glad you're with us tonight. The Rockies made a move immediately following the ball game last night. Marco Scutaro, who was picked up from the Boston Red Sox in the offseason last year, was moved on to the San Francisco Giants for a young infielder, former first-round pick by the name of Charlie Culberson, who will report not here but to AAA Colorado Springs.
Yeah, and Charlie was a former sandwich pick a few years back, so you're getting an infielder there. But Marco Scutaro, 271 average. That's right along what his career average is, 270. Everything that the Rockies asked this guy to do, he did. He played second base when he needed him to go over and play shortstop. He did that, and now he's going to a team in the San Francisco Giants who have a one-game lead on the Dodgers.
He's got a fun personality. He's a good guy in the clubhouse, and he was a little bit surprised to get moved.
This has been probably one of the best clubhouses I've been part of. I'm talking about in general. I mean, manager, coach, staff, and you guys. You know, everything's been great. Like I say, you know, hopefully next year I'm going to be a free agent. Hopefully have the opportunity to come back here.
Well, I think that does speak a lot about what the Rockies have done in their clubhouse. Despite a poor year, Marco Scutaro is going to miss this clubhouse. Tommy Field was recalled from AAA. Have not seen him in the big leagues last year. He was in 16 ball games a year ago, and he did fine.
Well, he did. He was filling in for Troy Tulowitzki during that time. So Tommy Field did what the Rockies had hoped he would do last year when they called him up. And what he's going to provide now for Jim Tracy is some flexibility, because I think DJ LeMahieu will get the majority of the starts for now at second base. Of course, Josh Rutledge, Jordan Pacheco, but he's going to come up and he's going to be able to fill in, or if you have the double switch, go to shortstop, go to third base, second base, and be a utility guy like a Jonathan Herrera off the bench for Jim Tracy.
And that's how the Rockies will align in their middle infield tonight. And when we come back, we'll talk pitching. The Rockies will have Christian Friedrich on the hill. He draws a tough bull. He's got Johnny Cueto going for the Reds. and Christian Friedrich hopes it's him. And he has already knocked off the Reds once this year. That came late in May at Great American Ballpark, and he beat Johnny Cueto that day.
Yeah, another matchup tonight from those two guys. And Cueto in that matchup gave up 11 hits. That was a career high for him. 4 2/3 innings took the loss in the 6-3 ball game that Christian Friedrich won. That was his second win for Christian this year. And in that start against the Reds, 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk. He was very efficient with his pitches. Fastball, hard slider down and into the right-handers. They just couldn't pick up the ball. When you think about that ballpark, it was a hot, humid night, so the ball was jumping out, but not that night because he was down into the zone, and he has to do the same thing tonight and hopefully get a little bit of offense, because that's something that the Rockies didn't have last night. It's pretty tough to win a ball game when you don't win or don't score any runs.
I have not seen that happen yet.
It hasn't happened yet.
No. So that's the matchup tonight. Johnny Cueto for the Reds, who's leading the National League in ERA. Dexter Fowler hopes to get the Rockies ignited. Colorado, Cincinnati, come on back to Coors Field with us. Brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Well, the Rockies hope to get the fountains going during the ball game. Christian Friedrich and the Rockies are 1-3 so far against the Reds. They'll play a ball game tomorrow afternoon before Cincinnati heads back to the hometown, the Queen City on the border of northern Kentucky. Zach Cozart will lead things off tonight again for Dusty Baker's club. They've not gotten much production at the leadoff spot this year. Drew Stubbs will bat second. He's batted some leadoff this year. He strikes out quite a bit, so they've moved him down a notch. Brandon Phillips has been terrific. Jay Bruce has 19 home runs. He'll bat cleanup. Ryan Ludwig next. Scott Rowland again at third base. Todd Frazier at first. Ryan Hannigan and Johnny Cueto. It's the same lineup as last night for Cincinnati, save the pitcher naturally. Christian Friedrich has won 5 ball games. He's lost 7. The 5 wins, the most on the Rockies this year.
Yeah, 2 of them have been at home, 3 out on the road. Out on the road, 377. He's looking to correct things here at Coors Field. 362 batting average against for Christian here, but the number 2 spot in the lineup, that's where he's had success going up against those guys. A 211 batting average against. It's going to be fastball, two-seam and four-seam, and the two-seamer is the one he's going to have to use more tonight to keep the right-handers honest for the Cincinnati Reds. Change-up, slider, and an occasional curveball. Throws a curveball more when he's out on the road because of the depth and the bite on it.
And you saw the highlights from Cincinnati. He had an outstanding curveball that evening.
The hard one that falls off the table, where you pick it up as a hitter out of the hand, you go to swing, and it disappears on you.
So here we go. The Rockies and Reds, part 2 here at Coors Field. The first pitch of the ball game on the outside corner for a strike. 86 degrees, the game time temperature. And this is on the ground to third, and a nice pickup there by Jordan Pacheco. 2 pitches, 1 out. Defensively, the Rockies will have Cargo in left, Dexter Fowler again at center, Michael Kadire in right, Todd Helton. Back-to-back starts for Todd coming off the disabled list with the hip injury. DJ LeMahieu's playing second for Marco Scudero, who's now a Giant. And it's Willeen Rosario again behind the plate. Willeen had a tough night catching yesterday. There's DJ. He's been really steady at third base. And now he's starting at a position he's even more familiar with in that second.
Yeah, we've seen him go over there and handle that position for a big guy very well. Just one error on the season. But DJ's 6'4", and so you think about a middle infielder being that tall, especially a second baseman. How's his footwork around the bag? That's not a problem.
Soft hands too.
Very soft hands.
Stubbs fouls it off. 1-2 on Drew, who's hit just .215 in his career against the Rockies. I was talking to Dusty Baker before the ball game about several subjects, and one of them was Stubbs, because this kid can really, really run. And I said, all right, who's as fast as Stubbs? Who can run with him? And he said, and he's gone here. Maybe that kid, that shortstop in L.A., he's talking about D. Gordon. And he said, from what I've heard, Mike Trout. And I said, Dusty, we saw Mike Trout up close, and that kid's got as good a speed as anybody we've seen in a baseball uniform.
Yeah, but even if he doesn't match up to those guys, to be mentioned in the same breath as far as speed wise with Mike Trout and D. Gordon,
yeah,
he's got wheels.
Yeah, Stubbs can run. 2 outs, nobody on for Brandon Phillips. Brings a .298 average into the ball game tonight. He's one of those guys in the absence of Joey Votto has raised the level of his game. He always brings great enthusiasm to the park.
Yeah, since the All-Star break, hitting .404.
And Brandon, it's a ground ball fair. Pacheco, and it's going to be help from Todd. Boy, he is a magician. That wasn't the easiest hop to handle. Once it hit that grass, kind of a change-up type spin on it. Good inning. Ready to take on Johnny Cueto. The Rockies last night shut out on just 8 hits, which is not a bad total, but at Coors Field you hope to be in double figures and have at least 5 runs up on the board. Was not the case yesterday. Here's Jim Tracy's lineup tonight. Josh Rutledge with Marco Scutaro now in the Giants organization. He'll slide up and bat second. Cargo had a couple of hits last night. Will be next. Then Kadire, Helton, Rosario, Pacheco, DJ LeMahieu will be in the 8th spot in front of Christian Friedrich. Johnny Cueto making his 21st start. And ever since Helton took him deep and the Rockies got after him on May 25th, he's been lights out.
Yeah, that was 72 innings ago, 10 starts, 7-3 during that time. Nice start for Dexter Fowler.
Boy, he pulled his hands in there,
yes,
Huey, didn't he?
He said, I'm not going to wait around. First pitch I see, I'm going to go to hitting. And he did.
You don't want to get in a changeup count with Cueto.
No, because he has one of the best changeups, not only in the National League, but all of baseball. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermode. Dexter pulled that hand in like you were talking about, Drew. Dropped that back elbow in to pull the hands closer to his belly. 4-seam, 2-seam for Cueto, but it's the changeup. I know he only throws it 19% of the time, but that is like a Mario Soto changeup for all you Reds fans from before.
Diving stop, and all it will do is keep it in the infield. First 2 pitches, 2 knocks for the Rockies. Rutledge following up Fowler with a base hit.
Well, talking to Carney Lansford today during batting practice, and he said they're going to have to be aggressive against Cueto. And they have been, because you don't want to fall behind. He likes to work ahead like most pitchers do, get that first pitch strike to get to the changeup and then the slider. Cozart dives for that ball, but he dove over the top of it. It came back over his belly.
Chance for a quick start for the Rockies against, again, the ERA leader in the National League. In fact, you go back to last year, he has the lowest ERA over the last 2 seasons in the league.
Yeah, 2.23 coming into the game. The last Red to do that and lead the National League in ERA was Ed Hauser back in '44 with a 2.38 ERA.
And Eddie had a great season.
He
that
did.
Year. Yep. First pitch changeup. It's 0-1 on Carlos Gonzalez, who has hit in 26 straight at Coors Field. He identified that pitch early. It's 1-1. The 4th longest home hitting streak in Rockies history, and during the run, he's hitting a cool .431 with 8 home runs.
And we saw him last night to extend a streak, hit the ball to left field. So it's not everything just full home runs. It's gap power the other way.
Pick play, and Cueto throws it into center field. Everybody will move up. A rare error on the Cincinnati Reds, just their 52nd this year, which is the lowest mark in the National League.
That's 3 by Johnny Cueto now. I mean, he spun and made this throw. It wasn't even close to the bag. That's a good 6 to 8 feet away from Cozart where he wanted it. It doesn't get much easier than that for Carlos Gonzalez now.
No, 2
infield
on,
back.
in scoring position, infield back, nobody out. And that's low. But what a difference a couple days makes. We talk about the rest. You were mentioning him going the other way yesterday, a single and a double. And his ability to identify pitches so much different than what we saw in Arizona.
Yeah, in Arizona, his strikeout, he wasn't picking up spin and rotation, swinging at balls out of the zone, getting himself out, recognizing the first 2 balls from Cueto tonight.
And a line shot, base hit toward right center field. That'll bring 2 home. And the Rockies have that quick jump on Johnny Cueto. Cargo coming through. RBI 68 and 69. Good piece of hitting.
And he stayed back, kept his hands back, even though the body went out somewhat onto the front leg. It was a pitch away from Carlos. We talk about his ability to cover pitches that other guys can't because the barrel stays in the zone for so long. Gets that front foot locked in, and the powerful wrist of Carlos Gonzalez.
Strike 1 on Kadire. This may be a running opportunity also for Carlos, who has a 27-game home hitting streak now, and he's among the league leaders in RBIs, as he has been most of the year. 0-2 on Kadire. The longest home hitting streak, we identified it last night. Larry Walker hit 30 straight back in the 2002 season. He's now tied Eric Young Sr. and Nafi Perez on the all-time home hitting streak list.
I'm sure Nafi had a few triples sprinkled in there.
I bet he did. And every once in a while, Nafi would go deep.
That wasn't usually a good thing.
No, Don Baylor used to go, oh boy.
Uh-oh. He's going to want to hit 5 now.
It remains a 2-strike count on Kadire. So the Rockies get shut out last night. Bronson Arroyo does an outstanding job, and then Alfredo Simon and the unhittable Mr. Chapman in the 9th inning. The ERA leader comes in. The Rockies have 2 with nobody out here in the first.
And that's what you want to start out, because we talked about it in our open. The start that Cueto had, gave up 11 hits in that game at Great American Ballpark, his career high. But now put that back into his mind.
Yeah. Cargo may take off here. Let's watch.
Cueto's pretty quick. Big time. He's 1-1-1-2 to the plate.
High fly ball drifting toward the seats, and it will land in the seats. Well, the Rockies are on their way. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special.
Even if he doesn't steal, anticipate right now a ball down in the dirt and take off then. Once you see the catcher drop to his knees and Hannigan,
Ryan Dempster, who's rumored to go to a lot of different teams, is second in the league in ERA. And there's Ryan Vogelsong having another splendid year after coming back from the Far East a year and a half ago.
Dempster only has 2.5 more days before he's going to figure out where he's going.
1-2 outside with the changeup, and it's 2-2. Kadire fouls this pitch off. Good at bat going for Kadire. That was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball by the 26-year-old Cueto.
To be able to spoil that when you're looking for changeups and off-speed pitches, and the approach from Michael, you can tell, is the off gap, right center field.
Well, he rolled over in 3 of his 4 at bats yesterday out front. And a line drive to left, another knock. This one headed toward the corner. Cargo's going to go first to third. Here goes Kadire into second, head first slide, and he's safe with a double. The Rockies' bats were in hibernation last night. They've awoken real early this evening. 29 doubles from Michael Kadire. Dusty can only watch. That's a terrific at bat.
Well, it was, and you saw where Hannigan was trying to set up, and then he reached back. I mean, that's dead center, right in the middle of the plate. It doesn't get much easier than that when you're talking about a swing from Michael Kadire.
3 singles and a double against Cueto. Here's Helton. Off-speed pitch misses.
I want to go back to the side swing for Michael, right on the point of contact. Look at how this is going here, and the head is traveling down to the barrel of the bat. I mean, that is picture perfect.
And that back elbow connected to the body.
Yeah, you can't chicken wing that. You can't get it outside of their body. It has to stay close, and think about putting maybe a softball underneath your arm. I mean, that's the distance that you want when you go to make contact.
That was, as you illustrated, a classic swing. 2-0 on Helt.
Giving a little Louis T on.
Yeah.
Completely turn around to the hitter. Did Cueto on that last pitch.
Todd had a base hit last night, Jeff. He hit another ball hard up the middle.
They were just shaded that way.
Three and one. Rosario's on deck.
Here it is. I mean, he completely loses sight of where the hitter is and then picks it up at the last moment.
The only thing he didn't do the tee on used to do is look up at the sky. Helt gets this ball to center field. Tagging at third is Cargo. And the Rockies have their third run. Nice at bat for Helton, his 35th RBI. 3-0 Rockies.
It was just good patience for Todd.
Good situational at bat.
Well, all of them have been tonight. Get the two leadoff hitters. You advance on the air by the pitcher. Carlos pulls the ball to the right side. He gets by the second baseman. 2-run score.
Rockies have now scored 70 first-inning runs. Rosario and now Kadire is hung up. Phillips will make the tag. That'll be scored 1-4. Second out. And Jordan Pacheco will come up.
See out of the behind the pitcher. And Michael takes off. You have to wait till that ball gets by the pitcher before you go at it. But then Cueto wisely starts running and chasing him back towards the bag he came from. And Brandon Phillips, closed ground. You work on those all spring training, and they still perfected it in July.
Jordan Pacheco last night 2 for 4. He and Gonzalez, the only two hitters in the Rockies lineup to have multi-hit nights. In fact, one of the 2 outs that Jordan made last night was a screaming liner to left center that Stubbs made a terrific play on.
A running catch in the left center field gap. I'm marveling, though, at that swing he took off of Chapman at 100 miles an hour. He squared that one up right back up the middle.
Yeah, he was the only guy to make contact in the 9th inning, or Aroldis Chapman struck out the other 3 batters he faced. No shame in that, folks. He's striking everybody out. I mean, literally everybody. He has struck out Chapman. 34 of his last 43 men retired. They've been via the strikeout. 2 balls and a strike on Jordan Pacheco, hitting 7th tonight. Slowly hit to short. Cozart on the move. And Cincinnati finally gets off the field. Terrific first inning offensively for the Rockies. Cargo a couple of ribbies. 3-0 Colorado.
Lives Charity Baskets event, and look who I'm joined by. You see her on Rockies Weekly, Rockies All Access. Now in game, the manager's manager, Deb Tracy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much, Mark.
And Chelsea Diaz is here, Joe Diaz's wife. Joe works in the clubhouse. Tell us about the event and how it's going.
Okay, it's going really well. It's benefiting the Urban Peak Foundation, which is a foundation in Denver that helps at-risk homeless youth. And when we got together as a group and we decided which charity in the Denver area we wanted it to benefit, we all remember that one of the things that we all had was a home when we grew up. We take that for granted, and a lot of these kids don't have it. If you ever saw the movie Pay It Forward, we're hoping that because we're targeting older children who aren't necessarily adoptable, that they'll pay it forward someday, come back to our community, and help children that just need that little leg up like they do.
Chelsea fans can come out. It's a silent auction. They can bid. What can they bid on?
Everything. We got shoes, balls, bats, baseball cards, anything. We went through our husband's closets and garages and houses, and they autographed everything. We have lots of mystery items and helmets, equipment stuff. You name it, we got it.
That's what is in the trunk behind us. Everybody autograph. What's in the trunk?
It's a secret.
Yeah.
You have to bid on it.
Just
and then
a little hint?
No, not even a hint.
Anything from the skip in there?
Possibly.
Maybe an old Cubs card with his autograph?
You remember that. You must have been a fan.
Yeah. He talks about his games all the time.
Yeah.
What, if you get...
There's also, if I can just add, there's some experiences that are worth bidding on that Jack Corrigan in the radio booth, Drew Goodman, George Fraser, you guys all donated. So it's a really neat opportunity to get up there and actually see. We also have 4 tickets and 4 on-field passes. Who wouldn't love to go on the field, get close and personal with the players?
Deb, Chelsea, thank you very much. We're going to go back upstairs to Drew and Jeff. Guys, take it away.
Go Rockies.
All right, Mark, thank you, and thanks to the ladies tonight. That's a great cause. 3-1 Colorado as Ryan Ludwig almost hit this thing to Greeley.
And this is what Ludwig can do. 16th home run on the season. And that ball was crushed up onto the concourse.
But you know what? If you're Christian Friedrich,
That's
you said
okay.
it many times, solo home run, move on.
Yes. It's the walk and the hit before that. Take a look to see. Well, and those are the ones as a pitcher you don't even watch them. You just get the ball back and focus on the next hitter.
Later on, you can exhibit some pride in that a guy was able to hit the ball that far off of you.
Because yeah, you have to throw it hard enough for him to do that.
Sure. 1-2 on Scott Rowland. Sliders down. 2-2.
Well, the pitch that's been giving Scott problems this year has been the changeup. He's had to cheat more to get there, the fastball.
Center field. And Dexter got a good read on it. 2 outs. Oh, look at some of the items that folks are bidding on. Concourse out in center field. That's one of the old, yeah, exactly. That's one of those old suitcases, folks. You spend half of the season on the road naturally, and the Rockies issue. This ball's well hit. I'll come back to it. This got a chance to get out also for Frazier, and it will. And now 2 solo home runs for the Reds, and it's a 3-2 ball game. That's the 11th for Todd Frazier. Friedrich has given up some home runs. We noted that at the top of the broadcast. He's given up more home runs than any rookie pitcher in the National League.
And Todd Frazier's up there as far as home runs by rookies. He trails Willeen Rosario, who has 16. Now Frazier has 11. Well, this goes to the deepest part of the ballpark out in left center field at the junction of the 390 mark. That's up well over 400 feet.
Ryan Hannigan. Anyhow, that suitcase is one of the older ones from, that goes back probably 9-10 years. And it looks like everybody on the club's autographed it. So that would be a really neat item. See Michael Kadyr's name prominently adorning it up in the left-hand corner. And I want to point something out. And there's a lot of guys who have great autographs. Troy Tulowitzki there, Todd Helton. Michael Kadyr, when he was doing a signing with Harmon Killebrew several years back, obviously we lost Harmon recently, and he kind of was writing his autograph rather fast, and it was somewhat illegible. And Harmon Killebrew kind of grabbed him on the arm, and he liked Kadyr a lot, and that's why he wears number 3. He said, if you're going to be a big leaguer, he said, somebody's taking the time to ask for your autograph. Make sure when they get home or they pick it up a year from now, they can read who it was. And from that point forward, he always takes the time to make sure that every letter in his name is clear. It tells you a little bit about Michael Kadyr. For Rockies All Access this week, we head down to Tulsa to meet with the Drillers, the Rockies AA team. We go fishing with George and his son Parker, who obviously is one of the top pitchers for the Drillers. It's all new Rockies All Access today, right after the ball game. Nolan Arenado. Who's the captain of that yacht?
I don't think it was George. He was on the dock.
Was he?
Yeah.
TJ LeMahieu in a 3-2 game. Ground ball to Brandon Phillips. 1 out.
Yeah, he said he was just the bait guy.
He's the bait guy, so he told me he was putting worms on guys' hooks. How could he do that from the dock if they're out there in a boat?
Well, I think there were some out in the boat, some on the dock.
Oh, I see. Friedrich takes a strike. Talk about goals in the second half. We've talked a lot about Friedrich and Pomerantz, most notably, really hopefully gathering some steam and some momentum going forward, where they really feel like they belong at this level and can win more often than not. And the other thing that I think the Rockies, you know, the Rockies would like to see a return to, and that is being a dominant team at home. They're 20-30 right now at Coors Field, which is the worst winning percentage they've ever had.
Well, you think
at
back
this
to
juncture.
Yeah, you think back to 07, 09. I mean, even towards the early years, they're winning over 50 games at home. They won 51, 52 games back in 07, 09.
And for the Rockies to be a 90-plus win team as they were in 07, as they were in 09, they have to be above 50 That's strike 3 at home. Because the likelihood is, as we know, with their struggles on the road for various reasons throughout their 20-year history, it's unlikely that they're going to go out and win 46, 47 on the road. You'd love to see it happen, but the best season they've ever had on the road was 41 and 40
yeah.
in 2009. Therefore, it's incumbent to have special seasons to win 52, 53 ball games here at 20th and Blake.
Right, because that'll offset what happens out on the road, and then you end up 10 or 12 games above 500. You're sitting at 92 to 94 wins. I mean, that's the way you look at it. That's a barometer of where you think you might get into the playoffs at that mark.
Dexter started started the bottom of the first. I was going to say the ball game, but of course the Rockies are at home. Started the bottom of the first with a line single to right. That was followed up by a Rutledge hit. Cargo had a 2-run single to right center. Kadire doubled. Hilton had a sac fly. Rockies had a 3-0 lead. 2 solo home runs. Ludwig and Frazier have narrowed it to 3-2. That's line just foul. Sixth inning, Toyota talk will come your way. Text Toyota to 720-720. Questions, insights, comments on the ball game. Plus, if you send us a text, you'll be entered to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo. You can see the all-new Toyota Elephant exhibit. And a good inning for Johnny Cueto. 1, 2, 3 in the second. We move to the third. The Rockies 3 and the Reds 2. First inning, Christian Friedrich threw only 8 pitches. He got Zach Cozart on a ground ball to Jordan Pacheco. He would strike out Drew Stubbs on a slider down and in. And then Brandon Phillips would hit a 2-hopper to Pacheco. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. 9-1-2 in the third inning for the Reds, winners of 8 straight. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Mark Stout from Coors Field tonight. Folks are back from their soiree in Cheyenne. 0-2 on Johnny Cueto.
They put on a wonderful pregame show yesterday from Cheyenne.
They did. That was a lot of fun. That was a great idea. Cowboy in 7th heaven with all his peeps.
Didn't have to drive far for the pregame show.
And just a few miles from the ranch. Here's the 0-2. That's high 1-2. DJ LeMahieu will take his time. Johnny Cueto
Conserving energy.
conserving energy. That's okay for a pitcher. Never did get near first base. 1 out.
Cueto only has 4 hits on the year, so he's made a lot of right turns.
Zach Cozart will come up.
Buy a green pack, 2 tickets for $24, and $5 will go towards planting trees. It's available July 31st and August 5th.
And a ground ball to short. Rutledge. High throw. Todd works his magic on the bag.
And that's where you miss Todd more. I know we talk about his offense, but for an infielder, the defense that he provides, we saw the play he made with Jordan Pacheco, that high throw, just a subtle little shift of the feet.
Huey, you're playing shortstop right now. There's 2 outs, nobody on. You're gonna settle in. You're also gonna look in, get a pre-snap read, if you will, on what pitch is coming. But also, you know who's at the plate. Drew Stubbs just tied this thing up. 3 solo home runs for the Reds, and it's 3-3. Ludwig and Frazier last inning. Drew Stubbs has just hit his 11th.
30th RBI for Stubbs. No doubt about any of the 3 that have been hit tonight by Cincinnati. See where this pitch was. There was a reach back towards the inside third part of the plate for Rosario, and Stubbs knew it when he hit it.
Well, in a little more than 81 innings, Friedrich's allowed 14 home runs now, which is a little higher than you'd like to see. What I was trying to lead you to is you see Stubbs up there. You know he's got plus speed. Do you cheat in half a step?
1 step, you come in, you'll sacrifice the range to get rid of the ball quicker.
Brandon Phillips on the ground to Rutledge, and he zips it across. 3 ground balls, but another big fly. Stubbs has tied it up with a home run. The Cincinnati Reds. Ryan Ludwig. Todd Frazier's on the right. In the middle, Drew Stubbs just hit 1. Rockies got off to the fast start, and they'll have to regenerate some offense now. They got 3 in the first against Johnny Cueto. The first 4 hitters all had hits. Here's Josh Rutledge batting in the 2-hole tonight. He had a base hit to deep short. It'll be Rutledge, Carlos Gonzalez, Michael Kadire. Marco Scudero, if you missed it, traded late last night to the San Francisco Giants. So Rutledge now batting in that 2 spot. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cueto.
Jim was asked about that during his daily press conference. Why Rutledge and maybe not Pacheco? He said he liked the idea of Josh with a touch more speed at the top of the lineup.
This might find its way through. It will. Josh Rutledge with another base hit. Man, he's been sensational. Get the ball in play, you never know. So a leadoff single for Rutledge. Carlos coming up. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery Second Chance Drawing. Through October 1st, enter your non-winning scratch tickets at coloradolottery.com. Little Pony with a bullet to right center, and it brought home 2. As the Rockies got off to that quick start. RBI 68 and 69 for Gonzalez. Inside ball 1. DJ Rayburn is the home plate umpire tonight. That gets thrown away by Cueto. He had an error in the first inning, and it goes in the crowd. And that was actually a break for the Reds.
Yes.
Because that would have kicked up the right field line, and it would have been Phillips and Bruce playing chase, trying to get to the ball. And most often when we see this throw in that area, it's 2 bases in terms of the advancement of the base runner.
Right, and the throw goes back into the runner. Rutledge. Frazier tried to reach down and grab it. It went underneath the right arm of Josh Rutledge. Never an opportunity for Todd to get that 4th error on the season for Cueto. But you're right, Drew. With that ball hitting off that wall, it always kicks out towards right field. The fan didn't reach over or interfere. It just bounced up into his lap.
Rutledge now at second. Nobody out. Here's the 1-0 count on Cargo. Didn't pull the trigger.
Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, you'll see it. Look right underneath Rutledge's right arm. Frazier said, I know it's here somewhere, but I can't reach it.
Cozart right behind Rutledge. That's in tight. Fastball at 94. 2 balls and a strike on Gonzalez. Base hits moved Cargo's average to 329.
With those 2 RBIs still sitting at 5th in the National League. To 69 RBIs.
And another base hit for Gonzalez. Rutledge had to see it through. He'll get a stop sign from Richie Dower. Had to make sure Brandon Phillips didn't catch that line shot. So Rutledge and Cargo 2 for 2. First and third, nobody out. Michael Kadire coming up, who doubled in the first.
This was a rocket off the bat from Carlos. Wanted to sink it away from him, but it didn't sink. And Rutledge, you had to freeze. You can't get doubled up on a line drive with as hard as Carlos hits the ball. You freeze. If Brandon Phillips would have dove, caught it, you're still in scoring position. But it got by first and third. You're in an RBI situation for Kadire now.
Kadire hits it on the ground, is short, and they're going to turn 2. The Rockies do take the lead 4-3.
If you're Cueto, you'll trade that run for 2 outs.
Elton, the sac fly to center his first time up. .324 lifetime hitter against the Cincinnati Reds. And that catches his own. 0-2.
Cueto's starting to throw harder tonight. That last pitch, 94. He averages 91 to 92 on his fastball. 95.
It's like Jamie Moyer compared to Chapman, though.
Soft thrower. He doesn't touch 100. 101.
Just missed. Cueto from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic, home of a great number of shortstops. And Todd pops this a foul ground. Cueto almost got run over by Scott Rowland. So Johnny Cueto makes the play. Rockies come up with a run. Rutledge scores on the double play off the bat of Kadire. 4-3 Colorado. AT&T trivia question. 6 third basemen have won 6 or more Gold Gloves. How many of those folks can you name?
How about the high definition GoPro they tucked into the trees out in the fountain? New shot.
I can't see any of the hitters, though.
No, but you get the pretty look at the fountains.
Frazier was fishing out there earlier before the pregame.
I don't think he caught anything.
Don't tell him there's no fish in there. Jay Bruce at the plate. He takes ball 1. Bruce, Ludwig, and Rowland. Bruce struggling in the month of July, just 195. And you're not going to get healthy chasing up there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's why you hit 195. Whoop. Just slipped out of his hand on that one.
Jay Bruce out of Beaumont, Texas, and pitches low. 3-1.
Lamar University is in Beaumont.
It is, yes. Three and 2 on Bruce with 32 home runs last year. Drove in 97. 25 the year before. His next home run will make it 5 straight years in which he's hit at least 20. Ground ball to help, convenient pop, 1 out. That's a look at the Mountain Ranch Club. If you like fine dining, and I'm not talking about just at the ballpark, I'm talking about in general. You come down to the Mountain Ranch Club and eat dinner, even when the Rockies are not on the field, but if they are, that's a great place to enjoy the ball game and have an exquisite meal. And we will be there tomorrow. Those folks,
Hi.
Those folks saying they're on camera. So I got to make sure not to eat before I leave.
No, don't, because
ballpark
last year when we were out there, the food, they just kept bringing it. Of course, we had to eat it.
Yeah, we felt obligated. It's rude if you don't.
Right. We were being gracious hosts.
Ludwig hit a home run, a long home run to left his first time up. It's rubbed off the plate. It's 2-0. Left center field, Carlos will have a play. 2 gone, that'll bring up Scott Rowland. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. On Rowland. That's fair ball. And another terrific play by Pacheco with a little help from the Gold Glover at first. Todd help. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Christian Friedrich. Rockies 4, Reds 3.
Run lead, leading 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. 4 runs on Johnny Cueto. Yes, guys leading the league in ERA coming into this game at 2.23. Ramon Hernandez caught him last year when he was with the Reds. I asked Ramon Hernandez what Cueto's secret is.
His secret is fastball command. He have one of the best fastball command in the pitcher that I caught before. He got great sinker. He can pitch with the fastball and sinking fastball anytime on the count, and he can locate it very, very well, like the best in any right-hander. That's his main control and his main pitch, his fastball command.
Hernandez would know, being a former Red. Back upstairs, Drew, Jeff.
All right, Mark, thank you very much.
On the last time Cueto allowed more than 3 runs. Yep, that's right. Back against the Rockies, May 25th, 4 2/3, career high 11 hits, 5 earned runs in that game.
And the slider catches part of the zone. It's 0-1 on Jordan Pacheco. Strike.
Well, Nolan was onto something with Cueto and the fastball command, because his first 3 years he was 32 and 32. A 500 pitcher, ERA over 4, but his last 2 years 21 and 10, ERA 2.27.
And the Reds controlled him for a while. He signed through 2014. They have a club option on him in 2015.
Well, and it really, like a lot of the pitchers for the Reds, except for Bronson Arroyo, everybody else is young. They're talking 24, 25, 26 years old. Arroyo's the old man of that group, but he's been the workhorse. So their average age, even including Bronson Arroyo, is just over 27 years of age.
2-2. Checked his swing. 3-2.
Jordan reminding himself to keep the hands back, stay back, don't get jumpy.
And it's poked off the end of the bat to Brandon Phillips. 2 outs. DJ LeMahieu coming up. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. It's a good one. 6 third basemen have won 6 or more Gold Gloves. How many can you name? We usually start with Brooks Robinson.
It's always a good choice.
Michael Jack Schmidt won 10. Scott Rowland has always been revered for his defense. Pretty good offensive player also. Buddy Bell, former Rocky skipper. Eric Chavez and Robin Ventura. Those, it gets a little more difficult toward the end of that list.
The last 2 surprised me, or those are the 2 I had trouble thinking about, but Ventura is more, you thought of him more as an offensive player, but he was steady, and that's why he won the Gold Gloves. Wasn't flashy.
I'll tell you, if he stays healthy, who will be in that club one day. Ryan Zimmerman, the third baseman for Washington.
He's locked up until what, 2019 with Washington.
Yeah, they signed him to one of those 8-figure deals.
He's from the Virginia area. Play at home. And for a franchise with they've been able to draft the last 2 years. Tied with the Reds coming into tonight's game with the best record in the National League.
LeMahieu with a base hit through that 5.5 hole. And that's really big because it flips the lineup over here for the Rockies in the 4th inning. Friedrich will come up. You hate to always say this about a pitcher as LeMahieu gets the base hit, but they'll get him out of the way here.
Well, and that's why it's important, as you mentioned, for DJ LeMahieu, even with the body going one way, he's so tall and so long with that swing he hooked it into the hole between short and third.
He's 3 for 4 now lifetime against Cueto. See, on that last shot, you could tell underneath the sleeve that Christian does have the elbow guard on.
But he always wears the same sleeves when he pitches, so it gets lost or hidden.
And Christian Friedrich swings and misses. Third strikeout for Johnny Cueto. We are through 4 innings of play at Coors Field. The Rockies 4 and the Reds 3. Brought to you by the Ford Fusion. Quality you want and economy you deserve. Ford Fusion, go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by King Soopers, more value for the way you live. Flat River in lower downtown Denver. The Rockies holding a 4-3 lead on the Reds. As we go to the 5th inning, it'll be Todd Frazier, Ryan Hannigan, and Johnny Cueto. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Christian Friedrich. See if he can repeat that here. He's allowed only 3 hits. The problem is all 3 hits went really far. Solo home run Ryan Ludwig, solo home run Todd Frazier, solo home run Drew Stubbs. The Ludwig and Frazier home runs came in the 2nd, and that'll be a base hit for Frazier.
Somewhat reminiscent of the game the Rockies had in Cincinnati when they had 5 solo home runs. That's the only 5 hits they got, 5 runs.
Now Frazier
decided, yeah, I'm gonna throw out a regular single.
Yeah, exactly. Rookie home runs. Frazier 2nd with 11 to Willeen Rosario, who has 16. His teammate Zach Cozart has 10. Bryce Harper, who's got a flu bug out of the lineup tonight with Washington, has 9. Anibal Sanchez's first start in a Detroit uniform did not go well. The Jays got after him. This is a very interesting few days leading up to the July 31st non-waiver trade deadline. Saw some there's been a lot of scouts around and a lot of special advisor scouts. Charlie Kerfeld's in town from Philadelphia. And we point that out because they're professional scouts that are always doing just regular team coverage, writing updates on reports on every player that they're assigned to, of teams they're assigned to. And then when you see special advisors, they're focused on one or two players.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking at. And so it leads me to believe that the Reds might be looking. See, this is Charlie right there. Special assistant for the Phillies. But you're thinking maybe a guy like a Hunter Pence or a Penn guy. Always looking to upgrade when you're sitting in first place or you're knocking on the doorstep.
Of course, the Phillies are having their first disappointing year in a long time. They just spent a lot of money in retaining Cole Hamels. Charlie was quite a pitcher in his own right with the Houston Astros.
I faced Charlie in junior college. He pitched for Yavapai Community College in Prescott, Arizona when I was playing at Glendale.
And you went out there and you said, holy cow,
boy,
who put the monster on the mound?
Yeah,
huh?
Charlie was throwing hard. I'm a kid just out of high school. I said, oh boy, I'm overmatched.
Charlie was huge.
He was. And the first 15,000 fans on August 5th will receive a Colorado Rockies lunch bag courtesy of King Soopers. Get your tickets today. San Francisco Giants will be in town.
Charlie's a good baseball man. Right now, it's 3-0 on Ryan Hanigan. And on 4 pitches, Friedrich has created a problem. He had the luxury of the bottom of the order. He gives up the knock to Frazier. Now Hanigan walks, and Johnny Cueto will be asked to bunt. Yeah, pitch count's great.
Yeah, that's not been the problem.
I mean, that's as low a pitch count as we've seen in the 5th inning, maybe this year. He had that 8-pitch first inning. Last inning was a low pitch inning, and the runs have come on solo home runs. So it's not like
right. That
deep pitch
a lot of traffic out there and high pitch counts, 3-2s.
I mean, it's 8 in the first, 14 in the second, 9 in the third, 11 in the fourth. That's why the pitch count's so low. But right now he's got to work out of this mess. And quite honestly, and you and I have discussed this a little bit. That's not close. Not that you want to see a pitcher in trouble, but for these young starters to grow, they need experience in a tight ball game, in the middle of the ball game, and they need to get through it.
That's how you learn. How did I, that's when you go back to the memory bank. How did I get out of this situation?
Good pitch, good bunt, and Friedrich throws out Cueto at first. So Johnny Cueto does his job.
Go back to that start that Christian had the last outing against San Diego. We left this ball game tied 2-2 through 82 pitches, 5 innings, just 3 hits, a couple strikeouts. He had all his pitches working that day. Kept the hitters off balance. Big curveball. But you're right, that's how you learn by playing this game, as you learn situations. And you veteran guys, well, how do they get to be veterans? Because they've been put in these situations. Catcher's interference or foul ball, one of the two.
Foul ball.
Mike Shaw, Subaru Supermo. It's tough to tell. It just barely nicked it.
Josh Greinke. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. 1 run will score. Ryan Hanigan will stop at third. Tied again at 4. Cozart with his 21st RBI.
The 2 balls that Zach Cozart hit tonight has been to the shortstop and the third baseman. I mean, this is normally right there. That's a normal straight up position for a shortstop, but he's pulled over in the hole because the scouting report says he likes to pull the baseball. So we're going to take that area away. But Zach Cozart.
It's a bad read by Hanigan, isn't it?
Yeah, that was real bad because not only do you check the outfielders, you check the infielders, and where that ball was hit off his left shoulder, you beat it through there, and you get to third base. It give the third base coach a chance to score you.
Drew Stubbs at the plate. We talked about his tremendous speed, so very difficult guy to double up. 1 out. 4-4, runners at first and third. Seems like a lot of young pitchers, when they get traffic, tend to nibble more.
Well, they don't trust their stuff. So they say, I want to hit this corner on this spot. And if you miss, you're missing by 6 or 7 inches.
And that's a base hit. And the Reds lead at 5-4 as Hannigan scores. Third hit in the inning. And right now, Friedrich's getting singled to death.
And we had a shot a moment ago with Josh pulled over, but this time he was closer to second base because he needed to be in double play depth. So now he's here. Last time he was right over in this area, but he's where he needs to be in case a ground ball is hit to the second baseman. He's close enough to the bag. And Christian Friedrich, he threw the pitch he wanted to do to try to get the ground ball, but Stubbs just hit it in the area there was nobody there.
It'll be a short night. 55 pitches, 4 1/3 innings of work for Friedrich. And he is gone. 5-4 Cincinnati. Josh Renicky will be coming on. Today it's only $24 for 2 great seats, with $5 going towards the Green Fund, which plans trees in the Denver metropolitan area. Join us on Sunday for the next Green game versus the Reds. Visit ColoradoRockies.com/green for more information.
The 41st appearance for Josh Renicky. 60 innings out of the bullpen. He's been the piggyback guy for most of those 60 innings, where he can give you the 2 or 3 innings to stretch and lengthen this game to help the rest of the bullpen.
Breaking ball, Brandon Phillips. Ahead in the count 1-0. Phillips a ground ball to third and a ground ball to short. Cozart and Stubbs on base. Good speed. Both of those guys with RBI singles. Phillips is at 375 in the absence of Joey Votto.
Since Votto went out with that left knee surgery, 9-2 for the Cincinnati Reds. We were talking to Dusty Baker today around the batting cage. He said it's mainly our pitching. We'll get the timely hits, but our pitching's kept us at that mark.
And he mentioned what we were speaking about last night, the defense.
Yes. But tonight, that's hurt him. The 2 errors by Cueto.
You know, it's funny that there's some of the managers that have been around for so long, their characteristics that are a staple of their personality. With Dusty, you get the wristbands and you get the toothpick. You know, I think of Bobby Cox, who's now retired. Bobby always had the spikes on. This ball is hit well to right center field, and it's going to be over the head of Dexter Fowler. It's going to score 2. Stubbs just has to make sure he doesn't cut in front of Cozart.
Catch up to him.
It looked like the U.S. 4x400 relay. 7-4. Brandon Phillips does it again. He's got 60 RBIs now. Those 2 runs will be charged to Friedrich and close the book on Christian's night. Not pretty. 4 1/3, 7 runs, 6 hits. All of them earned. Walked 1, struck out 1.
And this shows you the strength of Brandon Phillips. Where the location of the pitch was to hit it at the base of the right center field wall out in front of the bullpen of the Cincinnati Reds. Here are the runners you're talking about. Cozart looks over his shoulder. I got to get moving.
Reds with the most doubles in the National League. This is toward the middle of the diamond. LeMahieu with a nice pickup to get Jay Bruce. Second out of the inning. Phillips to third base. Coors Light Freeze Camp. A couple of nice plays by Jordan Pacheco. A couple of nice pickups by Todd Helton. The best I've ever seen.
Just get it in there.
Doing that.
He doesn't even have to be in the same area code. He'll pick it.
Ryan Ludwig. Strike 1 on Ludwig.
Ludwig's unique in that he throws left-handed and bats right-handed. Probably the biggest guy to do that would be Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson, the guy I watched growing up as a kid. Cleon Jones.
Mark Carrion. Cody Ross.
You're Cody Ross.
Brian Hunter. Jeff Abbott. But it's hard to think of guys that have made it in the major leagues and have done it that way.
Ton the opposite way, which you understand. Benefits of batting lefty, and of course the versatility of being a right-handed thrower. 2 balls and a strike on Ludwig, who's hit 6 of his last 7 to the tune of 417. 8th man to hit for the Reds here in the 5th inning. Cincinnati has put 4 on the board here in the 5th to take a 7-4 lead. Strike 3, and Ludwig knew it. So Renneke gets Ludwig. Damage done in the inning. 4 runs for the Reds. Brandon Phillips all smiles. His club up 7-4. Tonight's Chevy's Dare to Compare. Chevy's full lineup of vehicles makes it a clear winner. The competition can't compare. Chevy made for Colorado. This is really interesting and may surprise some people. The Hall of Famer Joe Morgan, 1,154 games with the Big Red Machine. He batted .288, 152 home runs, 612 RBIs, 406 stolen bases. And that changeup's in there for a strike. Brandon Phillips has hit in fewer games, has hit similar in average, similar pop, similar ribbies. The only area that Joe Morgan is far ahead of Phillips, stolen bases. And not that 143 is shabby by any stretch, and far more runs scored. But then again, he had Bench and Perez and all Foster, those guys hit George Foster hitting behind him. But Brandon Phillips may be better than you think. Well, people in the game know how good a player he is.
Yeah, but when you're comparing him to Joe Morgan and those numbers, special player is Brandon Phillips.
This is pulled foul. And Brandon's one of those guys that has an infectious personality. We showed him a few times tonight. Every time you show him, he's got a smile on his face.
And it's not just because he hit the double.
No.
I mean, if you were here during batting practice, you see him walking around talking to some of the other guys. He enjoys wearing a uniform. He loves to play the game.
Yeah, and it comes across that way. And I would imagine Huey, as a teammate, you, I'm sure, had several of those. Those are guys you want it. You can't wait to get to the clubhouse to be around.
Right, because even if you're having a bad day, he picks you up. And on the rare occasion he's having a bad day, you try to help him along.
3-2 on decks, trying to get the Rockies rolling here again. 3 in the first. Got a run in the third to take a temporary 4-3 lead. Good eye. That was close. Johnny Cueto looks off. He didn't want to show up DJ Rayburn. That pitch in the Ford strike zone.
Dexter caught a break. You'll take it. But Cueto's reaction, he thought he had strike 3. But he did the right thing. Don't start yelling at the umpire. If you're disgusted or not happy with the call, don't show him up, turn around, because that'll only make it worse for you if you start barking at him.
Josh Rutledge, a couple of singles, couple of runs scored tonight in his debut in the 2-hole. Something tells me that Jim Tracy will write his name there again tomorrow afternoon.
And he just fits in that spot because he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. We saw it down in San Diego. There was 2 strikes, pitchers hitting next. He starts to run on a 3-2 count because he had the confidence in Josh to put the ball in play.
Cueto thought he got Fowler again.
Well,
how many times am I going to get you out?
But I'm surprised he's still throwing the bases.
He did have him.
He's had 2 throwing errors, 1 to second, 1 to first.
There goes Dexter, and another base hit for Rutledge. First and third, nobody out for the Rockies, and here comes Little Pony again.
This was a hit and run. Three hits on the evening for Josh. Runner takes off. At that point, if you're Dexter, if you're running, you just keep going, because if it somehow goes into the shortstop's glove, if it cuts back, you're going to be out at first base. You know it's not getting to the outfielder. Keep on motoring.
Carr goes 2 for 2. First 3 in the Rockies lineup, 6 for 7 and a walk tonight.
And 4 runs scored, all 4 runs.
The fastball showed up on the first pitch. Cargo hasn't seen many of those first pitch fastballs. Two-run single in the first, a sharp single to right in the third. In fact, the ball he hit in the third with Rutledge at second was hit so hard that Josh couldn't score. He had to make sure, first of all, that Phillips didn't make a diving catch on it as it whizzed by him. Jay Bruce got to it very quickly. Fowler at third, Rutledge at first, 7-4 Cincinnati. And this will get the run home. Rutledge is out on the force at second. Gonzalez with his 70th RBI. Jim Tracy's going to go out and argue with Jeff Kellogg. Looked like he was out with the naked eye.
And if Rolen hadn't have cut this ball off and had the momentum going that way, he might have beat it. But the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo shows you that Josh Rutledge was indeed out.
A 7-5 ball game. 1 out, Cargo at first. Dyer a double and a 6-4-3 double play. And Cargo gets hung up. That'll be the second out. It goes as a caught stealing, just the second time Cargo's been caught this year. 1-3.
Just a step off move. Carlos was guessing on when Cueto would go to the plate. Cueto runs at him and got in an awkward throwing position to be running one way and throw it over the top of the runner the other way.
Cueto, think of his night defensively. I mean, you want to talk about being involved. He ran into foul ground and caught a ball right in front of the Reds dugout to end an inning. He has 2 throwing errors on picks. He very nearly picked off Dexter, as this is a line out. He just did pick off Carlos Gonzalez.
And he had a comebacker that he had to race to get somebody at second base, too.
Exactly. It's been a full night for Cueto. 7-5 Reds.
Lead over the Rockies, and hitting second in this frame for the Reds is rookie Todd Frazier. I saved this story. It was a couple of days after the Rockies were in Cincinnati, right around Memorial Day. That Tuesday, the Reds go to Pittsburgh. So Frazier's having lunch with Ryan Ludwig, and they look over, corner of their eye, and they see a guy starting to choke. He's kind of obese. A couple of women are trying to give him the Heimlich maneuver. Well, guess what? Frazier goes over. Todd Frazier gives the Heimlich maneuver to him, and out comes a huge piece of steak, and the guy's able to breathe, and obviously worse things don't happen. He buys them lunch, and he also spawns this T-shirt in Cincinnati. Take a look at this cool shirt about Todd Frazier. At the bottom in fine print, it says, choking victims, it's an emergency situation. What you do is call Todd Frazier and then stand back. But guys, he basically saved a life in Pittsburgh at lunch that day. Pretty cool T-shirt, too.
Good for Todd Frazier.
Yeah.
Kind of been what the doctors have ordered for the Reds. When Scott Rowland went down, he played third base. Joey Votto being down, he's played first base.
And Mark had a story on him earlier. He's comfortable at first base. 90-plus games in the minor leagues over at first. He was drafted as a shortstop out of Rutgers. I was talking to Dusty about him. Kind of reminds you of Tulowitzki, that big shortstop body.
Toms River, New Jersey.
Just got handed a note that Dr. Heimlich, Dougie, what research? Dr. Heimlich was a University of Cincinnati professor. This ball's well hit left center field, and this one is gone. Scott Rowland with his 5th of the year. And Rowland with the old school sprint around the bases. He has one of the fastest home run trots in baseball, and he's hit more than 300 home runs.
Well, he's from the old school. Don't show the pitcher up. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to try to win games. And Scott Rowland reaches out and gets at it. It's not that it was that bad of a slider. It stayed flat, but it was away from Rowland. He just went out and reached out and touched it.
Yeah, he did a little more than touch it.
Well, I mean.
No, I know what you mean. I'm kidding you.
But it wasn't where he opened the hips quickly to pull the hands in, any of that.
You saw his strength there. Debbie Golden wants to know if it's a possibility Marco Scutaro will be back. He's a free agent next year. You're going to have Josh Rutledge, who's been sensational as a serious second base candidate. Tulowitzki playing shortstop naturally. You know, Chris Nelson's going to come off that disabled list in the not too distant future. Chris has done a nice job over there.
We also have the kid that they got back from the Giants, and Charlie Culberson. I mean, there's some options.
Somebody again asking about Tulowitzki. Troy will be back when he's 100% healthy, which in all likelihood is not going to be till the beginning of September. But it's impossible right now with where he is to put a date on it.
It was just good to see him today out in full baseball gear. Pants, shoes, jersey during batting practice.
Two 2-0 on Hannigan. 4 solo home runs for the Reds. How about this for the Reds? They can hit the ball over the wall. They play in one of the most home run friendly parks in baseball, Great American Ballpark, on the banks of the Ohio River. Sunday they beat the Brewers with Johnny Cueto on the mound 2-1. There were no home runs hit in that ball game. It was the first time in 74 games at Great American that neither side had hit a home run, which was the longest stretch in Major League Baseball since 2002-2003, when the Rockies and their opponents went 80 straight games here at Coors Field with at least one home run hit between the two clubs. And this year, Coors Field has relinquished 144 home runs. Yankee Stadium, 142. They hit a lot of home runs in Toronto at Rogers Center. Great American's not on there.
Bautista hitting for you.
Miller Park's Milwaukee. Camden Yards, of course, is Baltimore.
The short porch at Yankee Stadium.
One day, 25 years from now, people will look up the numbers of Curtis Granderson, and they'll look at their kid, will look at their dad or their granddad or mom and say, "Hey, that Curtis Granderson, man, he must have been a big, strong power guy, huh? One of those old-time Yankees."
The 6'4", 240 pounds.
Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Not so fast.
No, but he's used that field to his advantage.
Catchers hate that, by the way. You stand up because to get in a when the guy turns the bunt, in case the runners move, you're trying to get out of the chute quickly. Rosario stands up, but now you're exposed because your thighs are exposed. There's a lot more body parts that don't have equipment covering it when you're in a crouch.
Yeah, your hand also gets exposed because you stand up anticipating the play out in front of you, and you don't have it hidden or tucked behind your leg or your glove.
Moline got nicked a little bit there. 2-strike count on Cueto. And now he gets the bunt down. Renicky thought about trying to get Hannigan.
The second sacrifice bunt on the evening for Jonathan Cueto. 12 sacks for him. That leads their ball club. Josh thought for a moment if he gets rid of it right now, he could get Hannigan, the catcher. Thought he didn't have the chance, so got the out at first with 2 outs. The old line in baseball, when in doubt, get it out.
Two out, Zach Cozart, an RBI single last inning. 1 for 3. He's got a ribby out there in Hannigan. It's 8-5 Cincinnati. Rockies brought a major league worst 6.21 starters ERA into the ball game, and that ERA will go up as Friedrich gave up 7 in 4 1/3.
The Detroit Tigers, they set the mark in 1996 with a 6.64 starters ERA.
Virtually impossible to win if you have an ERA with your starters anywhere in that neighborhood. If you're above 5, you're going to be in a difficult place. Here's the 1-1. 2-1. The bullpen has an ERA under 4, 3.97 coming in. And to give you a contrast, the bullpen in 371 in the third innings coming in, it allowed 378 hits, so about a hit an inning. The starters 491 innings, 625 hits. That's coming into tonight. Fowler makes the catch. In the inning, another run for the Reds. Another solo home run. Scott Rowland this time. 8-5 Reds. Just look back. First inning, things look great for the Rockies. 4 straight hits. Carlos Gonzalez, a 2-run single. Todd Helton would have a sac fly in that first inning. Rockies off and rolling, but the long ball got Christian Friedrich. 4 solo home runs tonight. 3 off Friedrich, 1 off Renicky. The home runs tonight from Ludwig and Frazier. Drew Stubbs would hit one in the 3rd inning. And then last inning, Scott Rowland off Josh Renicky. And the Reds have turned a 3-0 deficit into an 8-5 lead. The Reds trying to win their 9th consecutive ball game. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Helton, Rosario, and Pacheco against Johnny Cueto. He's 5 runs on 8 hits against Cueto, and Helton with a solid single to right. Rockies keep putting the leadoff man on. In fact, they've had the leadoff man on in 4 out of 6 innings. And the first 3 times it happened, they scored.
Yeah, that was in the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th inning. Hopefully that's a good sign for this inning in the Rockies with Todd Helton. Now listen, coming to the ballpark early on July 29th. That is tomorrow for Pentax Photo Day, and take photos with the Rockies players and coaches. Gates open to the public at 10:30 a.m. All fans will receive a 2012 Rockies team poster courtesy of Pentax.
Moline 0 for 2. A 1-0 count. You know, through the years, this is kind of a typical Coors Field game. There have been a lot more lower scoring games over the last few years. The advent of the humidor, performance enhancing drug testing in Major League Baseball. But Troy Tulowitzki said something yesterday that I found quite interesting. He said, yeah, our record has been bad this year at home, and we all know we haven't pitched well. We haven't played good defense, and he pointed a finger at himself, saying, I didn't play well defensively when I was out there. He said, but one of the things that just seems so commonplace in years past, the magic, the Loto magic, has been absent this year. He said, usually, you know, we'd be down 2-3 runs in the 6th inning, 5 runs he mentioned, and we felt like, hey, no problem, we're going to find a way to come back and win this thing.
Yeah, and that's
they don't have too many of those this year.
Right, that's what we were talking about earlier in this broadcast too, when they're sitting here at 20 and 30 at Coors Field, and you feel like you're playing uphill. Tonight was an example of that. You jump out to the early 3-0 lead, and then the Cincinnati Reds come back and they put an 8 spot up.
This ball line shot to center field, but it's right at Stubbs.
Well, right now, the Rockies are the only team in the major leagues that have combined between, obviously, themselves and their opponents, that they've scored over 1,000 runs. Averaging over 10.3 runs per game.
Which is half a run more than the next highest team has been involved with, and that would be the Toronto Blue Jays. Checo on that fastball at 96. So the Rockies scored 462, but they've given up 548, 86 more than they've scored. The Blue Jays, the Twins, the Red Sox,
and the only division leaders on that list are the Rangers.
Got a story about Josh Hamilton and the Rangers.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. He's had an interesting year. Josh Hamilton was actually booed last night in Arlington. Now, his president, Nolan Ryan, the great Nolan Ryan, got after him a little bit to be more focused. And when we saw him in Arlington, he was awful. He had a terrible series against the Rockies.
He had one hit.
He had one hit. It was a bloop. He struck out probably 7 out of his first 9 at bats, and they weren't even good strikeouts. I mean, they were. He looked like a guy that was overmatched, disinterested. And this is the player of the month in April and May in the American League. Russo make the catch, 2 outs. And since that time, in June he hit about 220. July he's hitting a $145. And so Ron Washington gave him a mental health day today. And, you know, Josh is saying all the right things.
Yep.
You know, he's a good kid. I think most people know his story. He's overcome a ton in drug addiction and alcohol addiction and other demons. But the first 2 months of the season, he was the best player in the game. The last 2 months, he's really, really struggled.
And he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. Has already turned down a big deal.
This is sliced foul on that right field line. DJ LeMahieu will have to come back to the plate.
And this is one of the plays, and I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but Bud Selig said that instant replay is going to come into play on trap balls and balls down the line. And it was just foul, but that's part of the new implementation that Bud has talked about, expanding replay.
Corey Blazer had the call.
But to get back to Josh Hamilton for a moment, going to be a free agent at the end of this year. The Rangers offered him a big deal going into spring training. He turned it down, and then you wonder if all that pressure is getting to him.
This is going to find its way through the middle of the diamond. Helton's going to try to go first to third. Todd get down, and he will. Cueto's going to throw the ball across the diamond again. That was the smartest move. He was on target with it. Boy, Helton made that decision, and he had a long way to go. But Todd, feeling like, you know, 28 as opposed to 38 evidently.
Well, it's nice to see the hips not a problem. The ball was just a jam shot off the label into center field, and it almost dies, but Todd cut the bag, motoring towards third, throw coming in, and if Cueto hadn't been in the right spot, that ball's in the dugout. Richie Dower yelling for Todd to get down, get down. And you hope when you're in that situation that the ball hits you in the back, because you know it is going to be a close play.
Tyler Colvin will pinch hit. 2 outs here in the 6th, and Colvin takes inside ball 1 against Johnny Cueto, 1st and 3rd.
Tyler Colvin 4 for 15 with a home run as a pinch hitter this year.
Well, just get 1 back right now would be large. Tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. Cueto 95, Friedrich 93. Again, we remind you, because we're in that middle portion of the game, Huey, it's an 8-inning affair if you ask Jim Tracy, because of the presence of Aroldis Chapman in that Reds bullpen.
Right, and they had a day off on Thursday, so there's no chance that he's been overworked. He came in last night, threw just 11 pitches, so he's fully available. The only guy that is a question mark for them is Alfredo Simon, but they still have the left-hander Sean Marshall, Logan Andrusik to fill in the 7th and 8th innings.
Two and one on Colvin. 3 and 1. Again, Johnny Cueto staring in. He has not gotten that pitch on the inside corner. The heater called for a strike.
Yeah, but it's been consistent all night long. It's not like the strike zone has changed from DJ Rayburn. It has been a tight zone, and he's called those balls.
Colvin, fair amount of experience playing against Cueto as a member of the Chicago Cubs. 2 for 9, as you just saw. 3 and 1 count. Ball 4, and they're loaded up for Dexter Fowler. Dusty talking to Brian Price. Pitch count not exorbitant. And after a lengthy discussion, Price on the jog to the mound. Now, again, the reason we're focusing so much on Brian Price is Brian Price very often will make the pitching changes.
He did it last night. Jose Arredondo is ready out in the bullpen. But this looks like Brian Price is talking to Cueto, trying to settle him down, and they might be waiting for DJ Rayburn to get out there to ask him where those pitches were.
Well, that's never been done before.
No, never.
And that's the conversation right now. You were all over that.
He was just waiting for him to get his 2 cents in, but did it the right way.
Johnny, we're going to sit here and chat. I thought those pitches were strike. We're going to sit here and chat until that home plate umpire comes
out here.
So the bases are full with 2 outs. Dexter Fowler, a single and a run scored in the 1st. He struck out in the 2nd. He walked and scored in the 5th. .40 ribbies for Dexter Fowler. He'd love to add to that right here. Inside ball 1.
And they've been pounding Dexter inside tonight. At some point, do you just look for that and guess they're coming inside?
Here's the 1-0. They went in there again. Dexter was a little tardy with it, and it's 1-1. Good numbers with the bases loaded. .320 average in his career. Helps at 3rd, he singled. DJ LeMahieu's at 2nd, he singled. And Colvin pinch hitting, just walked. 8-5 Cincinnati. Rockies on the short end despite having 10 hits to the Reds 8. Dusty from his days in San Francisco and then Chicago and now Cincinnati. He's managed a lot of ball games in this yard.
He knows can't relax to the 27th out.
2-1. The converts. Look at this, Johnny Cueto. You want to talk about how you lead a league in ERA? When there's a lot of traffic, you don't let the other team get hits. A 130 average in his career. And this year, 0 for 14. What a telling stat that is.
And he is not happy with DJ Raber. That's why he's taken so long in between pitches.
Two and one on decks. 3-1. Let's look at the Ford strike zone. You know what? The Ford strike zone. And again, this is
not something
science,
we make up.
Right. This is science and technology involved for every hitter. It changes. And Dexter's 6'5.5". It's different for each hitter. 3-1. And this is slowly hit the third. Rowland's got it. And Cueto now makes it 0 for 15. With the bases loaded this year. 8-5 it remains. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. By the Hyundai Fuel Efficiency Drive Sales event and your Colorado Hyundai dealers. And by Ram Trucks, get a great deal on a new Ram truck at the Ram Summer Clearance event going on right now. 7th inning at 20th and Blake. On a Saturday night, the Rockies trailing the red-hot Reds, 8-5. Reds have won 8 straight. Their last 9-game winning streak was in 1999. Saw them win 10 straight. Late June into July. Rex Brothers will be the third pitcher utilized tonight for the Rockies. Friedrich went 4 1/3, gave up 7 runs on 6 hits. Renicky gave up a run in an inning and 2/3.
52 strikeouts and 38 plus innings for Rex Brothers.
Drew Stubbs, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, 2 through 4 in the Reds lineup. Fastballs away, ball 1. Reds last night won 3-0. For the Rockies, it was the 6th time they've been shut out this year. Interestingly, 4 of those shutouts have been here at Coors Field.
That's hard to fathom. at Coors Field, 4 shutouts.
Yes, it is. And for the Reds and that solid pitching rotation of theirs and the great bullpen, they have 7 shutouts now this year.
We referenced it last night. As Bears repeating all 5 starters. I mean, that's all they've used in the 99 games, the same 5 that they started the season with.
And
Game 100 going into tonight's game. Johnny Cueto, and every guy has at least 1 complete game.
Now Miami was matching them. That's way inside, 3-1. The Miami Marlins were matching them, but their streak ended tonight because Anibal Sanchez was scheduled to start. They traded him earlier this week to the Detroit Tigers. 3-1, 3-2.
The next guy on the list for the Marlins might be Josh Johnson, but that price tag is going to be high.
As we said earlier, it'll be an interesting 48 hours leading up to that trade deadline on Monday. Did he go?
Check it.
So Stubbs with 20 stolen bases, a leadoff walk.
The overhead. Did the bat travel past there? Oh, I think he went.
Dodgers shut out the Giants this afternoon, Huey, 10-0. Hanley Ramirez was in the middle of things. He went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs.
He had the big hit in the 10th inning last night for the Dodgers.
Yeah. Brandon Phillips last time up, a 2-run double. Matt Kemp 4 for 5 today with 4 RBIs. Started slowly coming back from that hamstring. That's starting to heat up.
Last I saw, Scudero was 1 for 3. Started at third base today for the Giants. Did he get another at bat?
Scudero finished 1 for 3 as a third baseman, a position he did not play for the Rockies this year. A ton at second, as you know, and then he was playing short while Troy was out, and then Josh Rutledge was called up. He moved back to second.
Pablo Sandoval hurt his hamstring a couple nights ago stretching at first base.
And he had to be put on the disabled list. Aubrey Huff was activated.
And they designated Emmanuel Burris to put Scudero on the roster.
To third, Pacheco is going to get a double play. Brandon Phillips kind of jogging it up the line. 5-4-3 on the turn. It was close with Stubbs running.
Well, I was watching Stubbs at second base and thinking, did Jordan have time to get him? Phillips stumbled coming out of the box. That's what happened.
Yeah, he almost got hurt coming out of the box. Look at this. This is awkward. Wow. He rolls the left ankle, then nearly twists the right knee. Wow. No wonder we didn't see in the picture, Brandon. He jogged off the field as if he's okay.
Dusty Baker and his crew were holding their breath, I'm sure.
A few times you won't see a smile on Phillips' face. 2 outs, Jay Bruce at the plate. You know, when you talk about Rex Brothers down the road, the Rockies hope that he's their 9th inning guy down the road. He has the right demeanor. He certainly has the stuff. 96, 97 with the fastball, a good slider. Rex cannot evolve into that role until he's more consistent throwing strike one.
Right, because coming out of the bullpen in the 9th inning, you can't have the fear that he'll fall behind. That the first 2 guys he faced, there's maybe a walk involved. And you have to get the left-handers out. That would be the next step, to be able to go after them and say, no way, you're mine. But those numbers bear out what you're talking about, Drew. When he's behind in the count, guys are hitting well over 300 against him.
Well, he's now walked 21, and that's left on left. On 5 pitches, he walks Bruce. 2 outs, nobody on. He's walked 21 in 39 innings. That's too many. Then you look at Rafael Betancourt, who year in and year out is 9, 10 to 1, 11 to 1 in terms of strikeouts to walks. Betancourt this year has walked 10, but 4 of those are intentional. So it's really 6 walks in 36 innings. So if you're going to beat Rafael Betancourt or Matt Belisle, you have to do it with the bat.
But that's just the next step that Rex has to take. Keep going out there, put in situations where you can succeed, and you'll learn.
Ludwig, a home run in the 2nd inning. Fly ball left field as the runner goes. Great throw. Easy pickings. Jay Bruce cut down by Rosario. Sneak attack by Jay Bruce. That's a straight steal. No look back. 8-5 Reds. Inning, and the Reds have made a change. Johnny Cueto, after going 6 innings, will give way to Jose Arredondo. 44th appearance for Jose, and like everybody that Dusty Baker's called upon this year out of that Reds bullpen, they have done a very fine job. The opposition hitting just 200 against Jose Arredondo.
Well, that's why the Reds relief corps, they're first in ERA, first in hits allowed, first in strikeouts, because of guys like Arredondo. What makes him interesting and unique is that his first pitch and his primary pitch is a split finger. He throws it about half the time at 85, 86 miles an hour, followed up with the fastball and an occasional slider.
Josh Rutledge has had a perfect evening. He's 3 for 3, 3 singles. He's moved that average from 347 to 385. Cargo on deck, Kadire after that. We're going to get him here. Scott Rowland. Scott, I wasn't sure he could see it for a second.
Well, you do have that that tough sky now where the lights haven't taken over because of the dusk. And once it gets up above the light tower, he said, oh, now he finally saw it. I got it, I got it. He's laughing about it because he caught the ball. But those are no fun.
Ball one on Cargo.
Follow the Rockies on your phone with the MLB.com at Bat 2012. Features pitch tracking, highlight, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 to get MLB.com 2012 app.
2-0. Pirates won again. They beat the Astros 4-3 in Houston. They're now 58-42.
They have to keep winning to keep pace with the Reds.
Jason Grilli got his second save of the year. That's in there, 2-1. Diamondbacks in the seventh, leading Ike Davis 6-3. Well, they're leading the Mets 6-3, but Ike Davis has 3 solo home runs. So,
but leading the Mets, is that?
Yeah, they're out in front by 3, but the only runs for the Mets are those 3.
No, but what I was talking about the Mets and how bad they played.
Oh, they've been they've taken on a lot of water lately. Cubs beat the Cardinals 3-2. Nationals over the Brewers 4-1. And ball 4. So Cargo will draw a 1-out walk in front of Kadire. Braves beat the Phils tonight 2-1. Chase Utley is 5th. Bill Braves on the left side. Logan Ondrasek is on the right side. Ondrusek. I always foul up the pronunciation of that. Logan Ondrusek. I don't want Mrs. Ondrusek calling.
It's never a good thing.
1-0 on Kadire. He lined out his last time up. 1 for 3. Had a double back in the first inning. Jim Tracy realizes again that he's got to make something happen in these next 2 innings, because Aroldis Chapman figures to pitch the 9th. This is in the air to deep left field, and it is gone. Home run, just over the wall. And now it's a 1-run game. Michael Kadire got just enough. Home run number 15 for Kadire, and it's 8-7. And those fountains are alive.
Off the bat, couldn't tell if it was going to have enough behind it to get out. And Ludwig goes back, he times his leap, he does everything you're supposed to do as an outfielder, and jumps up. There was no fan interference. He didn't get hung up by the wall. They didn't reach over. There's no interference. The Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo will give us the best look that we've got. From that angle, it wasn't as close as it first appeared.
Bill Bray will come in. The Rockies trail by just a run. hit the magic number of 7. They need more, though. Make sure you go to your participating Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Taco Special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Maybe do that on the way home from the ballpark. Tomorrow's ball game will start at 1. Todd Helton against Bill Bray, strike 1. 8-7 Reds, 1 out. 2-run home run by Michael Kadire moments ago.
Not many appearances for Bill Bray. Spent almost 2 months on the DL with a groin strain. He was activated off the DL back on June 22nd.
Slider for strike 0-2.
Career high 79 appearances for Bill last year in a Reds uniform. One of 3 left-handers in the pen for Dusty Baker.
Todd a sac fly in the first, fouled out, and then had a sharp single to right. So 1 for 2. Matt Belisle throwing. Will be next for the Rockies.
Matt's already, he's a professional. He knows how many pitches it takes for him to get loose. He'll just wait out there to see how this inning plays out.
Two and 2. Three and 2.
This is going to be Bill Bray's only hitter. Drusic's still warming up.
Ball 4. And now the tying run is on. And here comes Dusty.
He's going out to get Logan. Bring him in to face the right-hander, Willeen Rosario.
Logan on Drusick will be next. We'll step aside. 8-7 Reds in the 7th. Ludwig a 2-run home run for Kadire, his 15th. Cargo had scored in front of him, and that got the Rockies within a run. Todd Helton walked against Bill Bray, and now Now Logan Andrusek, who's allowed lefties a much better, or has had much better work against lefties than righties. But he's going to face Willeen Rosario and Jordan Pacheco.
Andrusek fastball, cutter, curveball, split finger. Big tall guy. 6'8". Let's see if they throw Willeen Rosario first pitch fastball. They're going to go inside with one.
He missed with it away at 94. It's 1-0. Andrusek out of Shiner, Texas.
Lennon Junior College in Waco is where he attended college.
Locked him up 1-1.
94 to 78. Trying a sinker inside.
One and two. He strikes out Rosario, second out in the 7th inning. Hilton remains at first. That'll bring up Pacheco, who's 0 for 3 tonight. So you know he's due. He doesn't have many 0-fers.
Jordan's hitting over 300 in 18 out of his last 23 games. And that's consistency.
Yeah. And since he started playing full time, he's hit right around 315. Last night with the 2-hit performance, his 19th multi-hit game of the year.
The outfielders for the Reds are playing him straight up. I mean, Drew Stubbs in center field couldn't be lined up any more straight up than what he is right now.
One and one on Pacheco. 1-2 on Jordan. In the air to right field. And Jay Bruce has an easy play. So Andrusek comes on and gets Rosario and Pacheco. Rockies get a 2-run home run from Kadire. It's 8-7. Reds as we go to the 8th inning, and the Rockies are on to their 4th pitcher of the night. Matt Belisle will handle inning number 8. As steady as they come, Matt making his 49th appearance, terrific ERA, 45 strikeouts, just 8 walks.
And at 48 appearances, that leads the Rockies out of the bullpen. We mentioned earlier Josh Renicky has the most innings in all of baseball, but Matt Belisle, he's a give me a ball every day type of guy. Talk about the trade deadline a few innings ago, Drew, that Ryan Ludwig was traded 2 years ago. He found out by a reporter who called him.
Really?
Yeah. Said, how do you feel about the trade? He said, what trade?
Not supposed to be done that way. Just was looking back. Over the last 28 games, only one time have the Rockies used less than at least 4 pitchers in a ball game.
That was the other day in Arizona.
Yeah, they used 3 the other day in a loss. I believe that was, I'll say exactly when that was. You have it too, Jeff. He was on the 23rd. The Rockies lost 6-3. Sanchez went 4 innings. Torres went 3. Ekstrom went 1. That was the day Ian Kennedy threw 8 innings of 2-run baseball. Of course, the Rockies, before that period of time, had gone to this piggyback experiment. This ball's well hit to left. Got a chance to get out. Ryan Ludwig with his 2nd home run of the night, and that's a big one. He gives the Reds a 2-run cushion. Home run number 17 for Ludwig.
Last time he had a multi-home run game was against the Brewers back on June 27th. But with that power, Ryan Ludwig was a guy that has been coveted at the July 31st deadline, but not this year because of the way the Reds are playing, what he's doing for Cincinnati. One more look down the line. That's a season high for the Cincinnati Reds with 5 home runs.
All solo home runs. Scott Rowland hit one in the 6th inning, his last at bat. Matt Belisle fools him here. 1 out. Todd Frazier's hit a home run. Two strikes on Frazier, a home run and a single tonight for Todd. DJ LeMahieu throws out Frazier, 2 outs. Yeah, one of the places the Reds may look to improve themselves is with a bona fide leadoff hitter. They're hitting just 200 out of the 1 hole this year.
Zach Cozart, 289 on base percentage. He's hitting first. If you're thinking about Drew Stubbs, he's just at a 294 on base percentage.
Ryan Hannigan's walked twice. This is a line drive to right, and Dyer will get there. Another home run, though, in the inning. Ryan Ludwig, second of the night. Third multi-home run game of the season for Ludwig, the Reds left fielder, 9-7. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Reds 9, the Rockies 7. Drew Goodman along with Jeff Hewson and Mark Stout. A reminder, coming up in the postgame show, the Toyota postgame show. Text Toyota followed by a space. Your comments, questions to 720-720. And the postgame gang will handle as many of those questions as they can. You'll also have an opportunity to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo, so you can see the all-new Toyota Elephant exhibit. DJ LeMahieu. Eric Young is in the on-deck circle. It's 8-9-1 for the Rockies. They got to within 8-7 on the 2-run home run last inning by Michael Kadire. And Ludwig hit another solo home run. Andrusek remains in the ball game. We got the final 2 outs in the 7th. A strikeout of Rosario. You got Pacheco to hit a fly ball to right.
That's why that home run last inning was so big for Cincinnati. Because if you're just down by a run for the Rockies heading into this inning, if DJ gets in on, you could bunt Eric Young Jr. You have the top of the lineup coming up to draw it up and tie the game up. But now you need a couple hits and then the sacrifice bunt. It takes more options away from Jim Tracy to be able to get this game tied up, because you have to do it this inning with Chapman lurking in the 9th.
3-1 on DJ. 2 hits tonight for LeMahieu. Rockies led early 3-0. Called strike 3-2. This ball slicing to right center field. Can Stubbs catch up? No. LeMahieu with his 3rd hit of the night. It's a double. Well, this is the DJ LeMahieu that the scouts saw when he was in the minor leagues with the Cubs. Does not hit home runs, despite being a big kid. But they kept saying, man, he just gets hit after hit after hit. He finds a way.
Yeah, tonight it gets his 3rd hit, and a big one at that. A gapper into right center field. And the ball slicing away from Drew Stubbs off the bat. It looked like Stubbs had the angle on it, but he had to keep going and going and just pick it up when it rolled out to the warning track.
Young's presence will suck in Rolen at 3rd, defending against the possibility of a bunt, because EY will bunt with 1 strike on him. Rolen doesn't give any ground.
This is Eric Young Jr.'s 104th at bat tonight. 50 of them have come as a pinch hitter.
This ball's pretty well hit in center field, but it's not going to get over Stubbs' head. LeMahieu, though, can tag and move up easily to 3rd. The junior flies to deep center field. 1 out. LeMahieu at 3rd. Here comes Dexter Fowler.
Oh, he got lucky. Watch this thing rattle around in snow cone.
It hit the spring. High, ball 1. Dexter a single and a run scored in the 1st. A walk and a run scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 3.
DJ at 3rd base, you know you're not going to go with Scott Rolen playing even with the bag. Just about everywhere else except for the pitcher you can take off for home.
3-0.
Now, if you're Dexter, do you take one more, challenge him to throw you another strike? Or do you take it? And he took it.
Ball 4, Fowler and LeMahieu on. Dexter's the tying run with his wonderful speed, and here comes Josh Rutledge. Looking at Dusty Baker. Sometimes at Coors Field, Huey, you don't really manage games, you survive games.
And that's what Dusty's thinking now. 9-7. We've been out hit. They've got 2 guys on, and Carlos Gonzalez lurking on the on-deck circle.
Rutledge fouls it off. You know, Dusty's very protective of Aroldis Chapman. Starting to think, would you go with a 4-out save? Instead of that, Dusty says, I have an extra lefty down there who has closer experience, and I'll get him up. So he's getting Sean Marshall up to face Cargo, undoubtedly. 0-1 on the kid Rutledge. And that's a called strike. Josh didn't particularly care for it. Rookies to be seen, not heard. He just kind of looked away.
It's the break-in pitch from Andrusik started up at the top of the zone and stayed there, but it was a strike. Now you got to go into protect mode.
It's a pop up in the infield. Two gone. Still 9-7. Cargo standing there, assuming there's going to be a move. He's just waiting, not even moving toward the plate. And here comes Dusty Baker. So Sean Marshall will come on with 2 outs in the 8th inning. LeMahieu at third, Fowler at first.
Cargo 4 for 5 with the home run off of Marshall.
Isn't that interesting? We'll see their 6th matchup when we return. And the Rockies 7, 2 outs in the 8th. LeMahieu's at third. He doubled. Dexter Fowler walked. He's at first. And Carlos Gonzalez, who, as Huey mentioned before the commercial break, 4 for 5 with a bomb against Sean Marshall. And they'll get reacquainted here. And
that bomb was into the upper deck here at Coors Field, the 3rd deck. Lefty's hitting 264 off of Sean Marshall. Cargo hitting 304 now off of left-handed pitching.
That was a home run against Marshall when Marshall was employed by the Cubs. And that completed the cycle. I mean, if you're going to do it emphatically.
In grand style.
Yeah. It's the first pitch Marshall threw him in the 9th inning. That'd be a nice picture right here. Give the Rockies a 10-9 lead. Cargo's 2 for 3 and a walk tonight. He has 3 RBIs, 70 on the season. Looking for more.
That was just a courtesy throw over from Sean Marshall.
But I think a smart play, because just to let Dexter Fowler know, I haven't forgotten about you. Dexter, of course, is the tying run. But with Cargo up, he's in scoring position right here.
And don't take the bat out of his hand.
No, you got to let him swing. Outside, ball 1. Cargo's exhibited great patience the last 2 days, as we've discussed, seeing the ball much better. When he was showing a little fatigue in that Arizona series.
What's happened? He's got himself into better hitters counts.
Here's the 1-0. He got a pitch to hit there. He was on it. I don't know if he was sitting on the slider, but he was on it, and it was center cut.
Yeah, and he knows that's what he's going to get from Sean Marshall, is just a steady diet of them.
Marshall's lucky.
Yeah.
Where that pitch was located, he is lucky. Because that thing could have been
back. Yeah, it could have been on the upper deck.
That could have been sent to the 3rd tier. Marshall took a little more off that breaking ball. More of a curveball. 1 and 2.
And a curveball that he started at Carlos.
9 times this year, Cargo's driven in at least 3 in a game.
And the corner outfielders have backed up now. They're 2 or 3 steps deeper than where they have normally played, so there's a lot of green grass if you dump one in front of them.
One ball and 2 strikes on Cinco. Dyer hit a 2-run home run to get the Rockies within a run. Ludwig hit a solo home run to make it 9-7. We're in the 8th.
He keeps flirting with danger. One of these pitches Carlos will catch up to and square it up.
Carlos Gonzalez frustrated. Sean Marshall jogs off. The Reds still up 2. Five-hour energy fixes tired fast. 9th inning, the Rockies trailing 9-7. Rafael Betancourt will take over, but first let's check in with Jenny Cavnar out in center field. Jenny?
Hey, Drew, coming up on the Toyota post-game show, how about northwesterly winds? That's what's happening tonight. This is the direction the ball goes out of Coors Field. 5 home runs for the Reds tonight. We'll break down the pitching performance for the Rockies, and I'm not joshing you. Josh Rutledge in the 2-hole tonight started out 3 for 3. Is right now 3 for 5. He looks like he might be a good fit for that spot so far. Plus, we'll take it inside the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show, Drew.
All right, Jenny, we thank you. There's the numbers on Betancourt. I know he's the Rockies closer. There's an off day Monday, so even if he's needed tomorrow, he'll be available. Jim Tracy getting him some work here tonight, trying to keep it a 2-run game and give the Rockies a prayer in the ninth.
Yeah, and there was an off day on Thursday, so he needs to get back out there. His last appearance was down in Arizona on the 25th when he recorded his 17th save on the season in the 1 inning of work. It was a victory by Jeff Francis on Wednesday.
First hitter will face Xavier Paul. It's 9-1-2 for the Reds. Zach Cozart, Drew Stubbs to follow. Paul will pinch hit for Sean Marshall.
Paul pinch hit last night, threw out a base hit in the 9th inning.
Reds have won 15 of 17. That's some kind of run.
12-2 since the All-Star break.
And they're going to get, everybody making trades right around now. They're going to get one of the game's best hitters back in a week to 10 days or so, and that's Joey Votto.
It's like making a trade without having to give up anything. And you throw Joey Votto back in the lineup, you can rest Scott Rowland more, or you put Frazier on the bench as a right-handed pinch hit guy. Gives Dusty Baker more options.
9-2 without Votto, who they signed earlier this year to a, what was it, $224 million extension?
Yep.
Joey will be able to buy groceries for a while, thankfully.
Hurt his left knee. Arthroscopic surgery, torn meniscus. Did it on a slide, which is highly unusual.
You know, he has a chance to come back a little quicker in that he's always in phenomenal shape. Dusty was saying he's one of those guys that everything he does, this is a foul ball, is geared to athletic performance, like a lot of athletes, but everything he puts in his body.
And there was the slide.
Didn't look like much, did it?
No.
Didn't look like anything. That was in June, and he played through it for a while. Five solo home runs tonight by the Reds. Season high in home runs. That's a strike. 2-2.
What is it about solo home runs when the Rockies and the Reds play?
That happened back in Cincinnati.
Yep.
Had 9 home runs in that ball game.
5 solo shots by the Rockies, 4 home runs by the Reds. Tonight, 5 solo shots by Cincinnati.
Two and two.
Whoa.
Boy, that took a funny hop. Must have hit a spike bar. Good job by Helton to stay with it.
Well, that's the only reason you would get a funny hop on this field. Mark Razum, his ground crew, immaculate care. The extra top spin. Tried to jump over the head of Todd Helton. Not so fast. Easy flip to Rafael.
Sam LeCure and Aroldis Chapman.
Maybe Sam's just getting some work in.
I think Sam is throwing in case the Reds put up a couple.
The Reds do play 16 games in the next 16 days. That's including tonight.
Dusty was saying earlier to us that he's used Chapman 3 straight days once. He really doesn't want to do that. So if he pitches tonight, decent chance you don't see him tomorrow.
Well, this goes along with what a lot of managers will say, that I'm going to worry about winning tonight's game tonight, and then tomorrow will take care of itself. Because how many times have we seen it, especially here at Coors Field, where an opposing manager tries to slide by and bring another guy in and then have to go get the closer anyway?
Yeah, backfires. Fly ball center field. And Fowler catches that fly ball from Cozart. 2 outs. Matt Latos and Jonathan Sanchez tomorrow. It'll be the second start in a Rockies uniform for Sanchez. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Drew Stubbs at the plate. Slider misses.
Latos was that starter in the game that the Rockies hit the 5 home runs.
First year in Cincinnati, Latos has pitched pretty well. He's got an 8-3 record. His ERA is above 4. Rockies in the 9th inning will have Kadire, Hilton, and Rosario against Chapman. Chapman with his 20th save last night. Three and 2 on Drew Stubbs. Stubbs is 2 for 3 and a walk tonight. A couple of ribbies, including a 3rd inning home run. Great crowd this evening, 42,000 plus.
42,826.
Got him. Strike 3 on Stubbs, so 1-2-3 9th inning for Rafael Betancourt. Now the Rockies will try to get after Aroldis Chapman. Not easy. And the Rockies have the unenviable task of trying to score a couple off this fella, who's 20 of 24 in save opportunities, but the ones he booted were early in the season. We went over his ridiculous numbers last night. We'll examine them further again tonight. 93 punch-outs in 48 2/3, including 3 last night.
Right there, 93. That's the big number when you're just talking about 48 2/3 innings. And last night, 11 pitches, 10 of them for strikes. And he strikes out Todd, Willeen, and Josh Rutledge to end the ball game. And it's overpowering stuff. It's 100, 101, 98. Michael Kadire 0 for 1 in his career against Chapman. You still got to go with the rally caps.
So here we go. Kadire against Aroldis Chapman. Michael, a 2-run home run back in the 7th, his 15th of the year. Get the Rockies to 8-7 at the time. He swings at the first pitch. It's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and fly ball to Stubbs. Makes it 1 out. Todd Helton will come up. In the past, the game plan even earlier this year against Chapman was take a strike, because oftentimes it was 2 or 3 pitches in and you got ahead in the count. But he has established that he's going to throw the first pitch more often than not in the strike zone. So now the philosophy changing a little bit.
Yeah, he had 14 walks in those 4 to 8 innings. Just 2 walks in the last 12 2/3 here in July. Heads up.
Man.
That got it. Hopefully it just got the jersey.
Well, that'll get the tying run to the plate, Willeen Rosario. You know what?
That did.
I don't think that hit him.
No.
DJ Rayburn thought it did. Todd will come out of the ball game, and Tommy Field, who just was called back to the big leagues, was up last September. He'll pinch run. Rosario's 0 for 4. Great fastball hitter. Tommy Field, the 13th rookie the Rockies have utilized this year. Their club record's 19, believe it or not, back in 2005. Well, I don't know. With a 2-run lead,
I have no idea.
Why is he playing such close attention to Tommy Field?
No idea. I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to try to steal a base. You're down by 2 runs.
They cut at a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Aroldis Chapman, originally from Cuba, defected in the summer of 2009 before the World Port Tournament in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and he established residency in the Principality of Andorra. It's in the Pyrenees.
You've heard guys do that. They'll go to the Dominican or Venezuela to establish residency, just for a chance to play in the big leagues.
That's 100, and it's 0-2. He may be one guy, Huey, that could care less about scouting reports.
Yeah, throw him out the window, because unless you've stood in a box where the guy throws 100.
This ball, a bullet to short. High throw to Phillips, and they won't turn 2.
They're lucky to get 1.
Yeah, Zach Cozart with a high feed to Brandon Phillips. So the Rockies still alive. Pacheco will come up.
Ball's hit hard. You have to know that you have more time than Cozart did. He just dropped the elbow, worked underneath it. Brandon Phillips with the reach and still stay on the bag. And now with 2 outs, Todd Frazier will just be in the back pocket of Willeen Rosario. He just stays there and then bounces back.
Pacheco looks at a 101-mile-an-hour fastball. He had a bullet back up the middle for a base hit in the 9th inning. last night on a fastball at 100. Jordan 0 for 4 tonight. Two outs. Amazing thing is Chapman hasn't struck anybody out.
And because of that red number, the 101, that's why you don't worry about scouting reports, Drew.
Yeah.
It's just, I know it's going to be a hard fastball. I've got to gear for it. If he throws me a slider, so what? I'm going to look like a fool, but I've got to gear up. Start my swing early.
One and two on Pacheco. The wild thing about Chapman is, you know, there's something left in the reserve.
He can go get that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not grunting getting it up there to 101. And a base hit to right. Pacheco eating up those 100-mile-an-hour heaters.
There's nothing to it.
DJ LeMahieu is going to get called back, and Andrew Brown is going to take his shot with Aroldis Chapman. He represents the winning run.
Another piece of hitting from Jordan Pacheco. He stayed away. He stays on this ball and serves it to right field.
Rockies 7 runs, 13 hits tonight. The Reds 9 runs on 9 hits. They have 5 solo home runs. Committed a couple errors. That's Johnny Cueto. 2 throwing errors on pickoff attempts.
Andrew Brown, 20 home runs down in AAA.
And this is looped down the line, foul, and away from Todd Frazier. Ramon Hernandez, if the inning continues. Rosario at second, Pacheco the tying run at first. As Tommy, excuse me, yeah, it's Rosario at second, Pacheco at first. Tommy Field was forced at second, running for help. 2 outs in the ninth, 9-7 Cincinnati. This gets away, and everybody will move up. And now a single ties up the baseball game.
A heads-up base running from Rosario and also George Pacheco. The slider, Hannigan drops down the heel of the catcher's glove, right shoulder. And Pacheco has to wait to make sure that Rosario is going to go. He took off, he went. You don't want to run your guy off if he stops halfway.
He went.
Earlier, he wasn't called on a swing that went further than that one.
1-2 on Andrew Brown.
The outfielders for Cincinnati, I mean, they're playing almost like a pitcher is up, but it's because of the speed of Chapman. I mean, this is the left fielder right over there.
Yeah, this is an interesting alignment for a guy who's got a lot of pop. One and two on Brown. 2 in scoring position. That was 102. Swallowed the toothpick, yeah. Dusty. Two. And Chapman strikes out Brown, and the Reds win it 9-7. The Rockies threaten against Chapman, cannot get it done, and they blow an early 3-0 lead. It's the 10th time this year the Rockies have had a 3-run or more lead and lost the baseball game. The winning pitcher is Johnny Cueto. He's 13-5. He's tied for the league lead in victories. Christian Friedrich takes the loss. He's now 5-8. And Chapman picks up his 21st save of the year. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Ryan Ludwig, a couple of solo home runs tonight. Third time this year he's trotted around the bases twice in the same game. 15 times in his career. Visit jimmyjohns.com to find a location near you. The Reds have now won 9 consecutive ball games, their longest winning streak since winning 10 straight back in 1999. They're 10-2 without Joey Votto. 9-7 the final, the Toyota postgame show. Up next from here at Coors Field.